It's no longer lions of Islam. We don't need lions right now. No, that's not what we need. We need bears. We need Care Bears. It's because there's nur emanating from your belly, shooting out. How are these people so strong, yet so humble? Like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So today we're going to be getting into a video on the topic of having that Muslim identity, that unique Muslim identity, and what that means on a holistic manner. So if you're a Muslim that's doing great financially, physically, right, spiritually, and you're really thriving in life, you have amazing relationships, and you're able to be that, embody that prophetic sunnah in all aspects of life, and what that really means. Okay? So when you think about what is a Muslim, right, we start to think about identity, right? And a lot of the times we'll use these very surface level identity markers to choose who we are in society. I am brown. I am a man. These are just physical traits, physical characteristics. But if you dive a little bit deeper, that's really not what identity is about. Identity is about values. And that's why some of the countries, for example, the country that I'm from, my family's from, Sri Lanka, originally, there are three distinct groups, and they're all segregated by religion. And the reason that they are like that is because you're going to group towards your ideology, right? Your values, your belief system. That's what's going to keep you together, and that's the most important part of a person. At the end of the day, you're going to get along with somebody who has the same values as you, same beliefs, same goals as you, at the end of the day, more than someone who doesn't. And a lot of the time, you're not going to be able to collaborate at a deep level with someone who does not share your values and does not share your goals. Okay? And what does it look like to have that Muslim identity? It's not this surface level kind of saying Bismillah, saying, those are important. But it's not just that. Wearing maybe a topi, wearing a jubba, right? Is that what being a Muslim, saying Assalamu alaikum, is that all there is to being a Muslim? Going to the masjid. Is that all? It's important, but I'd argue there's many other aspects. Are you treating people nicely? Are you treating people kindly? Holistic? Are you actually taking care of your health, making those healthy choices? Is all of your income halal? Right? Are you working to call towards Islam and better the ummah every single day? Are you doing those types of things? And if you're not, it's like, maybe it's time for me to do an audit. Am I as great of a Muslim as I thought I was? Okay, and today we're going to go super, super deep on this idea of being a Care Bear. Is being a Care Bear. I got this little Care Bear over here. And they're actually bears. And I think that's what everyone should be aiming to become. It's no longer down with the time of the lions of Islam. That's done. We don't need lions right now. No, that's not what we need. We need bears. We need Care Bears. Because that's really what embodies a Muslim holistically. Okay? Because you're loving. You're giving. Imagine this beam of light just shooting out to everyone. You're helping everyone. You're fit, right? You're like the Sahaba, right? You're fit. You're a bear. You can handle a fight. No one should mess with you. But at the same time, you're loving. It's that those two sides come together. How are these people so strong, yet so humble? Like the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that's really the idea of the Care Bear. It's, you're strong, but you come from a place of love. A lot of the times, we'll feel fear, we'll be a little bit grumpy, like this guy over here. You're a little bit grumpy, right? You're not feeling so good, but look at this. Even though you're grumpy, there's still that little bit of love there. And that's what it's really about. It's about having love even if you're sad, even if you're afraid, and having that trust in Allah at the end of the day. Whatever you're experiencing, whatever emotion you're experiencing, you trust in Him that He will provide for you and He will actually grant you success. All you have to do is submit fully to Him. Okay? And that's the most important part at the end of the day, because we're always looking for something. We're always looking for something here, something there. We have these different addictions that are running us, different ego things that we want to validate our ego so we can have control, so we can feel like we have safety, right? So we can feel like we have a sense of security, so we can feel like we're in control and that people like us and validate us, right? We're constantly rationalizing and proving that to ourselves that everything that we're doing is correct, right? We're always concerned about these biological drives. I'm hungry, I'm thirsty, I'm hot, I'm cold, always trying to serve those, right? But what happens when you strip that away? And how do I strip that away? How do I climb those levels so I can come closer to Allah? Because there's different levels of doing things. So let me tell you something. Have you ever been praying Salah and you feel like, you're praying and your heart's just not in it. You want to go and you want to do something else. You got to focus on work. You got to play the video game. You got to eat that meal, right? You're always focused. Your mind is always off. You just kind of want to get it over with, done. Why is that? But then some other times, you're in. It's peaceful. You're praying. It's amazing, and it's great. Why is there that difference? It's because our nafs, our desires, resonate with different things when we're at different levels. So this can fluctuate over time. Sometimes you feel like you're in kind of a bad mood. You're like, today's my grumpy day, right? And you're afraid. Maybe you're not afraid, but maybe you're tired. You feel like your willpower is burnt out. You kind of just want to eat some junk food. You just want to play some video games. You just want to watch some videos on YouTube. You kind of just want to chill out. You don't really want to do anything. You want to be lazy. And there's a space for that too. But understanding when that's coming from, you kind of want to go and do these low vibration activities, right? Like feed these addictions, essentially. And what I notice is, for example, people who do drugs or people who, we get addicted to like social media, right? And again, this is not to judge anybody, but it's to look at the lesson that's there, because that's really what it's about. When we look at other people's stories, it's not about judging them. It's about looking at them and seeing that reflection of ourselves within them. Like a homeless person. Right, you see them, you say, hey, what part of that is me? Is actually me doing that, okay? And we look at that reflection, and we say, hey, there's part of me that's actually there. But moving on, that part of you would resonate with this kind of dirty high, okay? It's you secretly liking the part of you that's attached to that junk food, or that scrolling through social media, or that drug, or that addiction, or that that sugar, right? Or maybe that talking bad about people behind their back, right? It's us resonating at that lower level, right? That feels good, right? But at a certain level, we start to question that. There is this awareness, and then we're like, hey, okay, this is not good what I'm doing, but I still do it. It's kind of a habit, and you feel bad. You kind of feel guilty about it. But then at another level, you don't even resonate with that stuff. Like, why would I kind of talk bad about that person? Why would I even do that? Why would I eat that unhealthy food? That's not going to help me. I would just go work out, like get healthy, like staying healthy. That's so energizing. That's so fueling. Why wouldn't I do that? Right? Why wouldn't I go and pray? And I love to pray because it brings me closer to Allah and it softens my heart and it's peaceful, right? And that is the higher state. right? That's nafs al-mutma'inna, right? And when you're able to resonate with that, that's when you're actually able, that's when you've cleansed your heart, done that inner work. And that part is not so obvious. It's not so obvious that you have to purify your heart. But that's, again, why the Care Bear example is there. It's because there's nur emanating from you, emanating from your belly. It's love. And it's love for everyone around you. You have a friend that's grumpy, you're still showing him love, right? Yet you're this tough person who can actually handle a lot and is strong and is proactive, not reactive, right? Because when we're reactive, it's almost like the tail is wagging us. It's like we're a dog and the tail is wagging the dog instead of the dog wagging the tail, right? But when we're able to be in control of our emotions, in control of our state, in control of what we're doing, we're at the cause, not at the effect, then subhanAllah, we're open to a whole lot more because, and you can get more respect as a leader, right? You're not going to be seen as this kind of emotional person, right? Because you actually have control over that, right? And you're going to be more discerning. You're going to have a clearer view of reality because you do know how to process those emotions, right? And there's ways to clear yourself out and do that and get in touch with your emotions. That's a very feeling process, right? So that's why I always highlight Care Bears, because it's so exciting. There's all these different types of Care Bears, and they're all working together. They're trying to fight evil. They're trying to establish light, energy, right? Not this heaviness pulling people down, kind of pulling people down to hell almost kind of energy, but it's this nur, it's this lightness, it's this happiness. They're sharing love, they're laughing, right? They're happy. That's actually releasing trauma. When we laugh, when we enjoy with other people and we're able to take things lightly, it's not so serious and dense and heavy, then we're able to relax. Because a lot of the times people want to be serious, strict, and that's, to be honest, a big reason why people stray away from religion. A lot of atheists, a lot of people move away from Christianity. They have a bad taste in their mouth. They're like, oh my gosh, what is this weirdness, right? You see somebody on the street preaching and saying, Jesus is the truth, or, follow God, which, it's not super relatable to people, right? It's just not super relatable to people, right? You kind of need to meet people where they're at, and that takes a degree of social understanding, social awareness, right? Same thing if you're being strict and you're just shaming people, which I think there's a healthy degree of doing that, right? But if that's your main method of doing things, like we should shame certain things. I think that's healthy, right? Like we should, people who do messed up stuff to children, I think we should shame that. I think there should be a stigma around that, 100%. The people who harm people, there should be a stigma around that, right? But overall, we shouldn't be shaming people and leading with that, because what that does is it makes people defensive, right? And they feel like they're not heard, they're not acknowledged, right? And it's almost this ego trip that I'm right, you're wrong, and you kind of get a feeling of status by doing that. So that's the underlying thing that we don't really realize is what's happening. But if you're a dawah carrier, which is, again, that is our purpose as Muslims, to call, we're meant to embody the prophets, right? We're supposed to follow their lead, right? And we're supposed to call to good and forbid evil. So how are you going to do that? You're going to be a Care Bear. You're going to go spread love. You're going to go wherever you go, you're spreading love, you're spreading truth, you're spreading the truth that they follow one God. Follow one God. Submit to the creator of the world and follow his ways, because he has sent down the perfected way of living life. And if you follow that, you will find salvation, you will find peace, you'll find contentment. Everything in life, we're trying to, can I have a little bit of this? Can I have a better job? Can I do this? Can I, let me have a little bit more money so people think I'm clever, right? It's all these things that we're chasing, but at the end of the day, we're only going to find that true abundance, that true fulfillment, that true peace, that true contentment with Allah. And that's what we forget a lot of the time, because we'll get distracted. There's all these other things going around. There's all these things spinning around your head. But we have to actually we have to take control and say, I'm going to try and move towards this. And part of that is actually taking a good look at yourself, taking a deep look at yourself, looking at the ugly parts of yourself and saying, hey, I come from a place of love. Hey, I love myself. And it's time to move forward. Because here's the thing, people are like, yeah, but if I'm not fearing anything, if I'm not afraid of anything, if there's no pain associated, how would I be motivated to make change? Right? If there's no punishment, well, here's the thing. First of all, you can never eliminate all of that. But second of all, what if you did it from a place of love? Right? What if you did well, you had great relationships because you knew it was helping other people? Because you get ajr for it, you get reward for it. What if you did better at work because you knew you use that money to carry forward the deed? You could help more people, right? You could use that money to start your own business and help people. You could use that money to increase the amount of people that you're impacting with your life, right? We need to think in this level. We need to be hungry for barakah. We need to be hungry for, actually the barakah is already there. We got to be hungry for ajr. We got to be hungry for reward. And that's really the mindset of a Care Bear. The Care Bear is hungry for reward. The Care Bear goes out seeking, right? When the prayer is over, go throughout the land and seek the bounty of Allah. That's what the Care Bear is doing. The Care Bear is going out there and trying to make a better world, is putting light into everything till eventually this whole world is covered with, Allah will never let the whole world be Muslim and be guided to the light. There's always going to be that balance, but spreading as much as we can. Imagine reestablishing the deen on this earth, right? Think about how beautiful that would be. How amazing would that be? Because I know so many people want to move to Dubai, want to move to Turkey, want to do all these things. It's Islamic society. But are we actually implementing the systems that Allah has recommended for us? Right? Are we actually putting that into practice? And that's the real question. Okay? Because are we going to run away from a problem or face it? Because a Care Bear loves with an open heart. A Care Bear goes out, even if it's going to get rejected, even if failure is going to happen, because the Care Bear has trust in Allah. That's the beauty of the Care Bear. The Care Bear knows that if they go and they fight for the sake of Allah, and if they go and that fight is a daily fight, right? So you wake up in the morning, right? You go, you grind it out, you pray, right? You treat people around you nicely, you call towards the deen of Allah, you're constantly improving every single day. They understand that Allah has their back, and they have that deep, deep trust, and they have that tawheed as well. But tawheed, people would usually define it as the oneness of Allah, right? But it's putting Allah before everything else, and that's a mindset we need to cultivate. Because if you do that, think about it, you get the ajr. You're gonna be hungry for reward if you have that. Also, another mindset is being focused on the akhirah, on the next world, because you know how permanent it's going to be. So all your actions are oriented towards that, because that's the truth. Again, it's all going back to the truth. And a Care Bear is constantly purifying itself, because it's tapped into the energy of Allah, not the energy of the shaitan, because that's the enemy. That's the clear-cut enemy. And Care Bears have haters. That's another thing. Care Bears, not everybody likes the Care Bears. No. Care Bears have haters. Okay? That's a clear element of the Care Bear. But the Care Bear still does it every day. And the Care Bear feels the different emotions. The Care Bear is not no fear. The Care Bear feels fear. The Care Bear feels grief. The Care Bear feels depression. The Care Bear feels anxiety. The Care Bear feels anger. The Care Bear feels desire. But it's all by the grace of Allah that he's able to move forward, is able to love those emotions even if they come up and let them go. Because that's what happens to us as humans. We feel emotions. That's part of the human experience. That's one of the best parts of the human experience. Right? Would you rather have this bowling alley that's wide? It has certain boundaries and you kind of roll the ball and that's fun. But what happens if they just start to close and close and close and close and then it's just, you kind of just put the ball and it kind of just goes all by itself? To what degree do we want to lose our control? Right? So we have, that's why people might think, oh no, you have to disown emotions. You have to not feel them. Right? A Care Bear understands that emotions is a big part of life. And they know how to harness it. And they know how to use it as a strength, not a weakness. Right? Because the Care Bear is emotionally intelligent. Right? And is able to cater to their husband or wife, and kids, and people around them. And they're able to be a leader. And when the Care Bear is a leader, people around them start to trust them, respect them, and they create this almost like this kingdom around them that people fall into and they follow their lead, just like, people would follow the lead of the Khalifa back in the day, or, the Sahaba or the Prophet, right? And they follow their lead, and because of this, there's that trust that the people have with them because they're trustworthy. They know that they have great ethics and they're people of their word, right? And they actually are excelling in all areas of life. There's this magnetic attraction to that kind of person, right? Have you ever noticed there's just that person, they just walk into the room, they just light it up, right? They're just awake, they're alive, they feel like they have energy. That's the reason why, right? It's because they've mastered those tools that the Care Bear has, right? So, inshallah, I hope that Allah guides us. May Allah guide us to become true Care Bears, right, of this ummah, right? It's done. We don't need lions of the ummah, man. What do lions do, man? They just sleep all day. They kind of hunt sometimes. But a lion is like this king of the jungle sort of mentality. But I'd argue Care Bears, that's what we're going for, guys. Care Bears? Care Bears are lions. Care Bears, every time. Every time, baby. So, if you're interested in improving your communication, right? If you're interested in becoming that leader, right, understanding the social aspects, actually want to become a Care Bear and actually get those practical elements, we actually provide a free call, right, so you could actually improve that and actually level up. And it's not just like this video where it's kind of, you're watching, you're consuming content, but it's actually real, right? We're actually talking to each other, and we go very, very deep, helping you pull out of your roadblocks and actually get you closer to that success. So link is below, and even if you're just thinking about it, click the link below, okay? Because you're not gonna want to miss this. This could be a life-changing call for you. Okay, we're gonna go super, super deep on health, wealth, relationships, and of course your higher purpose, right? And really see what areas we can improve. It's going to be super valuable to you. Click the link below, right? And I'll see you on the call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum.